Spacebase Startopia. Is it Worthabuy, guys? Is it? Let's read the words on Steam. Spacebase Startopia captivates with its original mixture of economic simulation and empire building strategy, paired with classic RTS skirmishes and a good dose of humour. First up, guys, let's have a look at the graphical options. There's not a lot really. They're all kind of together, all the options for sound, graphics, and you can see them there. There's not a lot to really twiddle with. Graphically, it looked alright. It didn't look too bad, but I did get some frame drops when I was rotating the camera a lot. Using the middle mouse. I played with mouse and keyboard on this, and yeah, I got a few nasty frame drops when I was switching decks and things like that, so it does need a little bit more on the old optimization front. The game's £45. You can get it cheaper on Green Man Game, and I think it's 37 on there. Links in the description if you want to grab it there and help the channel. But you might want to listen to the rest of the review before you make any kind of decisions. It has 10 missions, a free play mode, a tutorial, multiplayer and co-op. So that sounds like a decent amount of content, especially when you think that free play mode is where it's at. That's where you're going to spend nearly all of your time. The 10 missions are just kind of like an extended tutorial, if you ask me. A lot of the buildings are unavailable throughout the early missions of the tutorial because it's introducing them a bit at a time, just because there is a bit of a learning curve. But yeah, the tutorial itself was pretty mediocre, but playing the campaigns will give you everything you need to know about the game. So let's talk about how you actually play the game. We're going to look at some footage from free play mode mainly, whether it's in co-op, single player or a PvP. I've played them all. I've done 18 hours in the game, so I kind of know my way around the game now. But basically, you running a space station, you've got to accommodate the needs of aliens that will visit your space station. You're trying to get as much money out of them as possible. You need that money to keep your space station running and to expand your space station. So it's kind of like a city builder within a space station. Now your space station itself is like a donut. It's like a giant donut. You can see that in the top left corner. You can see the kind of outline of it, the map, the little grids in it. Each little section is split by bulkheads at either side, and it's also 3 levels deep. Now when you start the game, you get your first 3 levels. You get a bio deck, which is the inner little piece. That's where you grow all your plants, which allow you to get different products off them. They're all different biomes in there, and you can simply paint whatever biome you want, and the plants for that biome will automatically grow there, and it will be harvested providing you have staff members. I'll come to staff members in a minute. So if you need medical resources, you grow plants that give you medical. If you need oxygen, you grow plants that give you oxygen, and so on and so forth. And they will deposit a little loot crate, if you like, of them resources right next to the plant, which can then be packed away properly. The middle section deck is your fun level, and that's where your arcades are, that's where your casinos are, your discos, your hotels, your bars, your restaurants, your fairgrounds. All the fun stuff is on that level. And your final level is where all the stinky stuff goes on. That's where your recycler is, your garbage stuff. That's where your space docks are. That's where your security is. That's where your hospitals are as well, and also your initial berth areas where people can sleep, get a shower and stuff like that, although there are hotels on the fun deck for that as well. Now we start the game with 1 of each level and a little bit of money, and you can start placing your basic buildings down, which is communications, recycling and your berthing area for new arrivals. Each new building, and there's tons of them in this game, needs unlocking through progression. Every unlock will have a prerequisite, and the currencies in this game to spend are satisfaction points, which is when an alien is satisfied with something, you'll get 1 point. You might get a few more points. It depends on the kind of building they're satisfied with. And you also get money when they spend money. So they might go on a fairground ride for 500 credits. You'll get 500 credits when they go on that ride. So they're your 2 currencies. Now your satisfaction currency, or whatever it's called, that's what you use to unlock everything. And so you need to have happiness. It's important. If you start pissing everybody off, you will be stuck, you will be screwed, because you will not be able to unlock any new buildings because you're not generating any satisfaction points. So it's essential to keep everybody happy. And this is where the game kind of starts to fall down, because to find out what people are pissed off about, you have to right click on them. It's micromanaging. And Everything's micromanaging in this game. Just building new little robots to go and carry your stuff around is micromanaging. Building new plants, biomes, is micromanaging. Manually sweeping up all the garbage, which you will have to do a lot, is micromanaging. Telling your security forces to go to an area of your ship that's your stations rather that's under attack is micromanaging. Having all these little things flip up on the screen, these timed events that give you 1.5 minutes to select a bad option or a very bad option, and you've got to choose one of them, is micromanaging. And one of the things that could fix this is a pause or an ability to slow down time. There's neither in this game, so you get overwhelmed very, very easily. What happens, guys, is, as you can see, over time, as you start expanding, you get overwhelmed with awful micromanaging. Even with 2 of us playing in co-op, we were overwhelmed at parts of the game by the sheer amount of micromanaging. People will start quitting if you don't start giving them all promotions. So you've got to click on the staff tab and start promoting everybody. People will say there's no disco on. You say, hang on, I've got 2 fucking discos. What are you talking about? Go and dance, you prick. And then you'll go to check your disco and you'll find no DJs there. Do you know why? This is the bit I was going on about the staff. They're the laziest bastards you've ever met in your life. The staff in this game are so fucking lazy. It's crazy. You might have a job, a building that you build that requires 4 staff members. You'll hire 4 staff members. That's not enough because obviously shift work and stuff. So you hire 8 staff members. That's still not enough. Even though you've got enough to cover every possible fucking shift, it's not enough. Why? Because the lazy bastards. They'd rather go and dance the fucking night away with her with the jiggly fucking breasts from planet Ugo Zungo. That's what they'd rather do than fucking do the job you're paying the twats for. And so your buildings stop functioning. You start building up too much garbage because the garbage people are all dancing or they're all pissed in a bar upstairs. It just keeps getting, it spirals out of control. When you have enemy AI building on the same space station and then they start smacking down the bulkheads and invading you with mechs, you've got to send your security forces there, which is more micromanaging. That's if they can turn up. And then there's the combat, guys. Oh my goodness, the combat. The combat is absolutely atrocious in this game. Absolutely atrocious. It's like the world's worst RTS. Half the time your mechs can't get to where they're supposed to be because your buildings are too close together and they just can't fit through, so you've got to reorganize all your bloody buildings. When they get there, they don't do a damn thing unless they feel like it. I mean, I've moved many a time a mech into the range of pirates and the mech's just gone, yeah, you've moved us there, but you know what, I'm going to walk over there for some unknown reason and then I might start shooting them. Absolutely dreadful. And do you know what? To build 1 mech, you've got to build a building. A big security building will give you 1 mech. You need about 6 or 7 of the fuckers. So you've got to build more buildings. You run out of room. It's crazy. It's awful, the combat. Absolutely tragic. It feels like a complete placeholder for the real combat that's coming. And I only found out today that this game isn't releasing into early access. This is finished. It's not a finished game in my opinion. It needs a massive amount of work on the combat. And that's the problem with this game. There's a lot of things that need a lot of fixing. And I don't know whether they're going to get that fixed because this game is finished. I mean, sure, there'll be bug fixes and that, but I can't believe that this is... It feels like when I played Cyberpunk, I couldn't believe that the game was released in the state that it's in. Well, I can't believe that this is, because I'll tell you something. There's a great game in here. I had so much fun building up my space station. I enjoyed putting the new buildings down. I enjoyed unlocking the new buildings. I enjoyed running out of a certain resource and then fixing the bio deck to get them resources going again. I enjoyed upgrading a lot of the stuff. I enjoyed seeing a thriving spaceport going on here, trading with traders as they came in, selling off my excess goods and making a nice big juicy profit on them, seeing people dancing, seeing people happy, putting in new amazing rides, seeing them go on them. All that was fun and I really enjoyed it. But the game just fell flat on its face. Every game I've played fell flat on its face after a certain amount of hours, when you get overwhelmed with menial little bullshittery tasks that shouldn't even be there. I don't get what the point of them are. It's just nuts. The amount of litter that these people, these ungrateful twats, drop litter everywhere. Doesn't matter how many bots you've got, doesn't matter how many recycling stations, you just get littered everywhere, which creates these bugs that create illness, create stench, and your beautiful space station just turns to shit. And it's so sad that I'm so disappointed at this, because I really enjoyed the preview of this when I played it a year ago or so, and I've really enjoyed a lot of my time in it. I've done 18 hours in it, and I've enjoyed a lot of them, but every time I've been left utterly frustrated with the way the game's kind of panned out mid to end game, and it just sucks that that's happened. So I can't possibly recommend it the way that it is now, and that's a shame. But the combat needs redoing from scratch, really. I mean, you even need to have a different UI for the combat. The mech only has 3 fucking moves. You can move, you can shoot, or you can press your special ability. 3 things. Why does that need it needs a whole UI for that? So you can't do any other stuff that's going on. You might have a vent just broken down next to you. You can't fix that while you're controlling these mechs with the 3 fucking commands. You got to press a button to switch back to the other UI to do. It's just bonkers, guys. Absolutely bonkers. So there you go. That's Spacebase Startopia. Very, very disappointed with it. And as a result of that, I can't possibly recommend. Not £45. No way. Could have and should have been way, way better than this. A lot of potential, but it just never really met that potential. Such a shame.
Commander, I know you're doing the best you can. That's what makes it so depressing.